Welcome, welcome, welcome. May the Lord's blessings be upon you, and know that we're honored that you have tuned in to our show, The Spice of Life Variety Show. We bring you greetings from West Angeles Church, and certainly we give honor to Bishop Charles E. Blake, Mrs. Mayel Blake, and the entire West Angeles family. No matter what your week has been, it's been a good week because God is in charge of your life and He loves you. We invite you to grab your pen and your paper and copy down our contact information at the very, very end of the show. We welcome your prayer requests. We welcome your comments, your suggestions, and know that, again, we are honored to be in your midst on this day for this particular show. We do have a show that is dear to my heart. On this particular show, The Spice of Life, we're going to feature three of our very dazzling young men as they share on a subject, I'm grown, now what? So without any further ado, I am going to introduce you to Mr. David Reddick, Mr. Ralph Lloyd, and Mr. Joseph Lewis. Sit back, listen to our young people as they come forth with words in their arena of I'm grown, now what? God bless you. Welcome.
Wow, I'm still asking the question, now what? I mean, some days I think I got it, and other days it's just like, okay, now what? But anyway, I'm David Reddick, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Tonya Lewis, Dr. Lewis, for having us on the show. As she said, the show's title is I Am Grown, Now What? And so I have with me Mr. Ralph Lloyd and Mr. Joseph Lewis. One of the things, just even saying that, they kind of gets me off guard sometimes is when they say Mr. Reddick. I'm used to people just, you know, David, you know, or hey, you know, but how is this, even that, being referred to as Mr.? You know, how's that, how's that affected you guys?
I've been...
Does it make you feel old?
Mister. I've been blessed not to be called Mister. You better know, but yeah, sometimes they still want to see my ID, so you know.
Okay, so you lucky in that regard.
I'm lucky so far. Yeah.
What about you?
Sometimes, you know, me and my friends joke on the basketball team, so we, you know, we'll call each other by each other's last name, and sometimes they call me Mr. Lewis, you know, just joking around. So I've heard it a couple of times, but now I have to learn, you know, it's not in a joking way, you know, it's in, you know, serious, you know, maybe business professional way.
It's starting to seep in a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was this is an aside. I was working the other day, and I was a little tired, and I went and got me some coffee, and I was like, man, grown people drink this coffee. What am I doing drinking this coffee?
Get you a Red Bull or something.
Like my dad or something. Yeah. But what is being grown up? What does that mean to you guys? I mean, just kind of in a general sense, what does that mean for you?
I think that grown up is not a number, it's a state of mind. You know, it's a maturity level. Okay. Some people are grown at 15 because of certain circumstances that they have to face in life where, you know, they may lose parents and they have to be the ones to raise their brothers and sisters, or, you know, they have to work actually, you know, and they have to start taking responsibility for themselves.
Right.
That's where I think grown comes in, when you start to care for yourself, when you start to, you know, they basically take responsibility. Okay. That's it.
I think what he said that was key was responsibility. Because, I mean, if someone's 30 years old and they're still blaming everybody else for their problems and they're still, you know, looking at the world as like, you know, everybody's against me, you know, I mean, you know, everybody's trying to get me. But if they take responsibility for themselves, take responsibilities for their own problems, then, I mean, that's when you really start to mature and start to grow up. You know,
now you guys are getting ahead of me. I have, like, question number 5, what is responsibility? Now I got to think on the spot there. But that is true, responsibility. So Is that a gradual thing? Has it been a gradual thing for you, responsibility, or is it something that was kind of just put upon you in certain situations?
Different situations. Like sometimes you may have to take responsibility. Then, like, it may all of a sudden just jump upon you. Like if your parents pass, then you have to start taking responsibility. You can't depend on mom and dad anymore. You have to start. You have to start taking responsibility. So sometimes it's forced upon you. Then sometimes you kind of just ease into it as you get older, and you realize that, okay, I can't continue to blame everybody else for my problems.
Mm-hmm.
I need to man up, or be mature enough to accept my own problems and take responsibility. So it's kind of both ways.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think.
Yeah, it hit me kind of quick.
Really?
You know, yeah, at a young age, Mom, I love you anyway. But it was a young age. I stopped getting money,
Okay.
and I had to do things for myself. I would ask my dad. He'd look at me like, well, what you gonna do?
Okay.
And that's when you kind of figure, you know what, you got to start doing on your own.
So how old were you when, as far as like ends start being cut off?
Like 15.
15?
Yeah, 15 actually.
Okay.
And I started doing other things to make money. I started working.
Okay.
Doing what I had to do to
How
take
old are
care of
you
myself.
now?
22.
22. Okay. And you, Joseph?
18.
I mean, Lewis.
18.
18, Joseph. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
18.
18. Yeah.
So you're legally grown, but mature-wise, do you think that you're kind of more mature in certain areas than some of your peers?
Oh, definitely just some of my peers. Definitely some of my peers.
How so?
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
Because there's a lot of people that I found myself around at certain periods of time. I listen to some of the stuff they say, and I'm thinking, what? I mean, like as far as, okay, let's jump to relationships for a second. I don't understand how guys can say, man, I'm about to go hook up with her. Yeah, man, she got a place to live. She gonna buy me some shoes. I'm thinking, what? How you gonna accept a gift? I mean, you're not even bringing anything to the relationship. Like right now, I don't even feel comfortable talking to a young lady because I don't have things in order. Like I don't have a car right now.
Okay.
I'm just starting school now, and so I mean, I don't even have anything to offer. So, I think it takes a bigger man to realize that he just shouldn't be receiving things from young ladies or in a relationship, but he should be giving things. He should be wanting to give things
table,
before
yeah.
he's accepting things. And I don't understand how people say, yeah, man, she about to buy me some Jordans, man. She about to buy me some shoes. She took me to the movies.
Sound like a mama.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Girlfriend.
yeah. I don't need another mama.
Yeah. Oh, girls the same way, man. They can't just be leeches or whatever. Thinking they just gonna get on the train and roll with the dude that's doing everything. Now we're looking for girls that are pretty much mature, with a job.
Yeah.
Going to school, doing their own
See,
thing.
these brothers are just on it. Dude. You took out my responsibility. You pretty much covered that.
Yeah.
Now you segueing into here. Why don't y'all talk? But maturity, that is a big thing. And I think so often I am a young adult. I mean, I'm obviously older than you guys. But I remember going away to college. And I think that college or school is something for everybody. But my parents, they kind of looked at, it's 12 of us, and they kind of looked at us a little different. Okay, this one can go away to college because you get out there and it's just like, okay, you're on your own. And then this one, you might need to stay close by the nest a little bit and kind of gradually let you go out there. But it is basically, a lot of it is based upon maturity and things of that nature. But I'm here to tell you, I think that being grown up is still in my opinion, it's always going to be a learning process. It's something that you will continually mature into and things like that. But I think that at every age or stage that we find ourselves in, there's something for us to learn.
Right.
And if we don't learn the lesson, then you pretty much stay immature.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
For real, yeah.
So that's just my take on it. But what are some of the things that has changed since you guys have become adults?
Wow.
Well, I mean, my associations with people. I mean, because in school, I've been to several different schools where I went to one school where I was with the same class, and we just kept moving on and on. So it was a private school, and so we had the same 27 people in the class, so we just keep moving on. So I'd have to deal with the bad friends in that class, and I had to deal with the better people.
Every year.
Yeah, every year you're dealing with the same people.
Every year, yeah.
Then I went to different schools where when I went to high school, I would go and I would associate with different types of people. So I mean, the associations are different. Like now, I guess more so to decide who I hang myself around, who I'm around, who I'm learning from, as opposed to everybody who's around me all the time, and I have no choice. Like some stuff kind of rub off on me. That I may not want it to rub off, but some stuff kind of rubs off on me.
Yeah.
I just get to choose my associations now.
See, that's a good word right there, choice.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think that freedom to choose, it's like, oh, I can't wait till I'm this age, or I can do this on my own. And then it's just like, okay, you're out there now, and you have the choice, but sometimes you're just like, Dad, I still need I wish you kind of wish that someone could make those decisions for you. So it's like I said, I appreciate the fact that life and God kind of has us on a schedule where everything is not just all of a sudden put upon us. I mean, there are certain things like sometimes where you're forced to make decisions, but I like the word segue, kind of where you transition into some things as opposed to just kind of just being dropped in your lap and things like that.
I mean, there's some people I know that actually had things just dropped in their lap, and they actually turned out a lot better than they probably would have if they had segue. You know, if they were brought in gradually. It would have took them a longer time to realize certain things, but when it all got dropped in their lap, then they was like, okay, look, I gotta handle this,
This is what I gotta do.
And that's when maturity level, it basically, it's not around the corner, it's at your door then, and you really gotta know what's going on. As far as the question again what was the question again? Because I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh, we were talking about what does it mean now that you're able to make more choices and things like that.
Oh yeah, when you're making your own choices, you start, growing up, making your own choices a lot of times. That's just as far as like spending money. When you're spending your parents' money, you don't care what you're doing with it, And then actually when you have to spend your own money that you work for yourself, and it's like, man, Disneyland costs $50. I ain't going back, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I worked hard for this, and making your own choices. Let's see, up to 18. Let's see, when I turned 18, actually, it was like, I have to work. That was the first choice I knew. Like, before I knew what school I was going to, I knew I was going to have to get a job, because that's the way my dad was, He was like, you're going to work, and that's it, And school, basically, they were like, they gave me the opportunity to go to school. A lot of people don't get that opportunity, and I'm glad that I got to realize that, too.
Good.
Yeah, so.
Are you guys still at home now, or are you on your own paying, like, how's that working out?
Oh, man, I am still at home, Luckily, I haven't been forced out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they still let me stay home. That's cool.
What age would you think for you, like, would you be ready to, will you be ready to kind of like move out? Because like you said, it's a maturity, and I think sometimes even for you, just because you don't have a car doesn't mean that, you can't do certain things. I think it's all in the way that you handle and carry yourself and things like that. So sometimes that's another thing that we do. We look at being grown as sometimes the material things that we have or possessions, but that's not, you hit it right on the head. Being grown is about being responsible and making mature decisions. Because I remember when I got to college, I didn't have a car, and I saw some of my friends, they had cars, but they wasn't necessarily grown. They just had kids. They were kids with cars, So it's a matter of choices and decisions and things like that. But what do you think would be a good age for you to kind of move out, and why do you think, You
know what? Honestly, I'm ready to go now. But the fact is, I realized that with the job that I have, that's only part-time and going to school, I can't do that. Okay. Because if I moved out now, maybe 6 months later, I'll be back at home because of the money situation. And I guess that all goes with the maturity. You can say you're ready to go, but you have to be mature enough to realize, okay, this is the money that I have, this is what I have to deal with. And you have to sit down and look at your stuff on the table and realize what you can do and what you can't do, which goes back to the choices.
Right.
You know, actually being grown and taking care of yourself. Once you move out, you know, I mean, if you're cool with your parents, you know, you can still call and be like, you know, Mom, I may need some help. But
Been there, done that.
yeah, you know. But a lot of, I mean, if you really think you can handle everything on your own, paying your own bills and, you know, doing that kind of, because that's not a game, man. That's the real deal. They want their money anyway, you know. It's no talking to them, and it's, you know, like it's a friend on the street or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really, really, really have to think about it. I would say probably like, I guess 26, 25. You know, after you have your college degree and you have a good job where you can take care of yourself. That's when I think that you're really ready to move out.
Okay. What about you?
Well, I'm getting ready to move into my college dorm. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm experiencing a little bit of freedom, you know, but, you know, not as much as, you know, paying my own bills as far as that goes. But I think that as soon as you're able to pay for all your expenses on your own, that's when you're really ready to move out, you know, really to be on your own, because to me it's useless if you're gonna move out and you're still gonna depend on Mom to pay all your bills. You know, like, Mom, you know what? The electric bill's due. And, I ain't got it, so I need you to pay that. I need you to pay that light bill. I need you to pay, you know, everything. I need you to wash my clothes too. I mean, so you might as well stay at home. You gonna,
For real.
I mean, all you really covering is your food. So I mean,
sometimes not even that. It's like I'm finna go to Mama's again. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But I just think that until I'm really ready, and I have to, you know, still depend on my parents to do everything for me. You know, I mean, I can understand, you know, you need help or whatever, but I mean, if you calling every day, like, Mom, I know I called you yesterday about the light bill, but I'm hungry today, and I don't feel like eating your home cooking. I need to go to Helen Bell's. You know, different stuff like that. You know, once you're ready, that's when you can go ahead.
I was sitting here thinking, and I was just thinking about an older generation. I mean, because we're grown. That's what the show is about. Now that you're grown, now
what?
But I was thinking, do you think that overall we are maturing at a different pace than, say, maybe 2 or 3 generations that were ahead of us? Because or even your grandparents or great-grandparents, you hear like, oh, they were married at 17 or
Please, 13.
13. And I'm just like, at 13 or, you know, 17, like my dad, he is exactly 21 years older than I am.
Okay.
And I distinctly remember when I turned 21, I was like, I could never be doing what my father was doing at 21. So do you think that we are maturing a little slower, or is it just a difference in the times that we live in? What do you think about that?
I think it's a difference in the times that we live in, because a lot of times, I mean, I've heard just the fact of being grown change myself just from growing up. You know, it used to be, when I'm 18, can't nobody tell me nothing, and that's it. You know, I got my high school diploma, can't nobody tell me nothing. Now it's, when I get my college degree, can't nobody tell me nothing. You know, it's starting to change, you know,
So
gradually.
you think we're trying to push it back, stay at home as long as we can?
I
or
think
just...
some of us are, some of us aren't. You know, like, you know, some of us, they have their different situations where they can't wait to get out. Some of us are like, if we don't have to get out, I'm going to stay, I'm going to ride this thing out. You know what I'm saying? And some of us are like, you know, I got to do this. I want to be on my own. I'm ready to start my own life, and that's it.
Okay.
I think it changes from person to person. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think it's a little bit of both too. That you know, we're maturing slower than, you know, past generations, and also we, you know, we're not so in a rush to put on the man's shoes. You know, like he said, we're trying to ride this thing out. You know, I'm gonna stay at home long as Mama let me. You know, but I think that past generations, they didn't have like a lot of things that we have today. You know, like a lot of people, like divorces. People getting divorces every second, you know, and today and back then, I guess it was kind of looked down upon, you know, so you got to kind of ride that marriage out, you know, you got to make things work, you know, and so now it's just like, oh, you know what, I don't like the way you dyed your hair.
Peace.
It's over, you know, I'm calling my lawyer. Yeah, sign these papers, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the longevity of the relationships back, you know, generations ago was more than we're able to bear.
Okay.
You know, so we just kind of take the easy route out and say, you know, I'm out of here.
So as far as choices and decision making, how has goal settings and things like that, setting goals for yourself, where does that come into play? Because like you said, choices and the things that you do, that plays a big factor in where you're going. So how has goal setting and things like that come into play for you guys?
Goal setting, to me, comes in with the maturity level. You know, I have certain friends that wake up every day to 20 on the dresser from their parents, you know, and then they just realize, well, gee, I don't want to go find a job today. You know, my mom just gave me $100. And I'm like, what? It's 12 o'clock. Why are you still in the bed? Get up, you know what I'm saying? Let's go look for a job. Let's go do this. And then, yeah, I think, it's the maturity thing. It really is, because once you realize this is it, or this is what you have to do, then you want to start setting your goals, because you really can't do anything unless you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody can really make you do anything, because once you realize this is it, because I started college, you know, in the beginning. I was 18. I started going, and then I got kind of messed up with my tuition reimbursement program. It kind of messed me over, and I made a mistake, and I had to stop.
Okay.
And then once you stop, it's kind of hard to want to go back, you know. But then once you hit that maturity stage, like, man, you know, life is around the corner. You can't talk to none of these girls unless you got something to bring to the table. You're going to need to go back to school. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. And once that maturity level hits you, then it's like, yeah. You know, I start setting my goals up. I start, you know, trying to get to them, at least trying to reach them, you know, start making progress.
Okay.
Like everything else, I think it changes from person to person. Because I asked somebody older than me about a week ago, you know, man, because he's one of the types that's just like laying around, you know, he's like in his 20s, like, man, you know, just I mean, no kind of motivation to go out and do anything with his life. I'm thinking, man, what do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't even know. I'm thinking, wow, man. I mean, not to even have an idea of where you're even trying to go. And well, for me, goal setting is very, very important. I mean, and not just thinking about the goals. You know, you got to write them down. You know, you got to see the goals every day. I think that has plays a big role in where you are in the future, because a lot of the successful people today set goals and you know, checked on their goals every now and then, went back, you know, critique the goals to fit what they wanted to do and where they wanted to be in a certain amount of time. So goal setting is very important.
I was just thinking of the scripture in Proverbs, how it talks about without a vision, people perish. And I was thinking that your vision has everything to do with your goals and your dreams and kind of what God has put inside of you. But one of the things I kind of feel like a big brother, it's kind of sitting here, is that I want to encourage you guys, is that even as you continue to get older, I think part of being a mature adult is the ability to recognize when you need help, so that you can become better. And so even though I'm a few years older than you guys, and I've been out there a little longer, I still have mentors and people that I look to kind of guide me, not make decisions for me, but the Bible talks about in the multitude of wisdom there is safety and things like that. So I just want to encourage you guys that, you know, as you continue to grow up and mature and things like that, to always seek out advice and good counsel and things. Maybe you guys are already doing it. Maybe I'm just kind of beating the dead horse. But that's important.
Yeah, we do that. I mean, you know, people always tell me, once you think you can't be told anything, that's where you're going to lose everything, you know? And it's like you're always learning, you know, even when you're 30, people listen to people that are 50 or 60, they can still learn.
Right.
You know, that's you're always maturing when you're getting older. I don't think that there's actually a place where you stop and just go, that's it. You know, I know everything. You know.
So, if there was anything that you would like to say to someone who is 18 or 20 or 25 or whatever, and they are still kind of teetering on accepting maturity. You know, I don't want to preach or whatever, but the scripture says keep popping in my head. You know, when I was a child, I
spake
spake as a child. You know, but when I became a man, I put away what?
Childish
Childish
things.
Childish things. So what would you want to say for someone that's kind of like, I still want to, I know, you know, I'm an adult, but I still want to do some childish things. What would be your advice? Or wise one?
Well, with, you know, with age comes, you know, with sacrifice. With everything, you know, you got to sacrifice something. Either you're going to sacrifice being responsible for doing, you know, the fun things, you know what I mean? But if you're going to accept adulthood, if you're going to walk into, you know, being grown, then you need to do the things that are categorized under being grown. You can't stay out to 2 o'clock in the morning and you got to be at work at 6. Yeah, 6:30. You know, and still thinking, man, you know what, man, I ain't that old, man. You know, I still got to do my thing. You know, you need to relax. You need to realize that you need to make it to work, and you need to be on time to work, and you need to be there. You know, full of energy, or you know, not sleeping like coming in 7 o'clock. You know,
we got to wrap up. But what would you say to someone?
Wow. I would say that life is right around the corner, for real. You know, and if it's not around the corner, it's there. Wake up. Let's do this, you know. Get a job, do whatever you got to do, set your goals, because it doesn't just fall in your lap.
Yeah.
It doesn't at all, and you don't want to end up on the street.
Okay.
You know?
And I think for me, I would probably say that discipline is not a bad thing.
Nah.
Nah,
it's not.
Sometimes we run away for discipline, but I'm learning that the more disciplined you are, the greater freedom you have to do certain things. Brother, would you lead us out in a word of prayer?
Sure.
And we thank you for so much for tuning in to the show. We hope that something we said might have been of encouragement to you. Thank you.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for allowing us to come together and speak on being grown. We ask that you would lead us and guide us as we walk on our everyday lives. Give us the wisdom to do the things that you would have us to do. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So, y'all got some decisions and choices y'all about to make right now?
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day, for real.
There's decisions. I'm trying to figure out, you know, what I'm trying to do as far as school. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm leaving in a few weeks, you know, moving to my dorm, but it's like a lot of decisions that need to be made between now and then. Okay. You know.
Yeah.
You've got some counsel or some help that you in making those decisions. Where are you going to be?
Counselor.
Oh, you with me?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah. I was up there on Monday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was talking to the basketball coach for a second.
Come on, put those hands together for Jesus. Come on.
I'm supposed to go to Norfolk this weekend.